Hello, I'm Brian from Brian Boas. I'm a breeder of locality-specific boa constrictors. Today I want to share with you what I consider to be my top 5 favorite locality boa constrictors. I am going to be releasing some other videos on different topics related to keeping and breeding boas in captivity. So if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the Brian Boas YouTube channel for more videos. Recently, a good friend of mine who's new to boas was looking for a recommendation of what type of boa he should get. And he asked me, Brian, what is your favorite locality boa? And it seems a simple question. However, I couldn't give him a simple answer. I have so many locality boas, and there's just something I love about each individual one. However, after much deliberation, I was able to break it down to these 5 localities, which I believe really represent the epitome of all the great things that boas have to offer. Boas live from northern Mexico all the way to Argentina, which is a range of several million square miles. So there's this enormous variety of different sizes, shapes, textures, colors, and behaviors in the boa constrictors. And if I could only keep 5 localities, these would be it. This is going to be starting in the north in Mexico. This is in no particular order of preference. But if you stay tuned for the whole video, I will be revealing my number 1 pick of my favorite locality boa of them all. So the first locality on my list comes to us from northern Mexico. This is the Tarahumara mountain boa. And if you think boa constrictors are giant snakes, take a look at this guy. This is an adult male. This guy is about 3.5 feet long. The females get to be about a foot or so longer. This is a mature adult. This guy has had a number of litters over the last few years. And if you have one of my baby Tarahumaras, this was the father of your snake. And so these guys are very manageable. You can actually keep them in a rack system. I keep mine in the Iris CB110, the under the bed storage tubs, and they do quite well and breed in these tubs. They have this beautiful dark color, these rich mocha and chocolate colors, as well as a lot of pink and sometimes even blue overtones to their color. So they're a very beautiful snake. As babies, they can be a little bit hissy, but they almost never bite, and they generally calm down quite a bit as adults. You can see this is a pretty mellow guy to just take out and admire. That's the Tarahumara mountain boa. So our next boa originates from the Central American island off of the coast of Honduras, known as the Hog Islands. So these are 2 small islands, and the boas here have been separate from the mainland population for many thousands of years, and they've evolved into this natural hypomelanistic form. You can see the light colors and reduction of melanin pigment. These are really a beautiful boa to look at. They have a lot of pink and orange and sometimes even some green and blue scales, so they're one of the most beautiful boa constrictor localities. They're a mid-sized boa. This is an adult female. This girl is about 6 foot long or so. The males typically are a little bit less long as adults, sometimes as small as 4 feet. This is one of the localities which has been available for a very long time, at least the last few decades. And at one time it was thought to be near extinction, since thousands of these have been taken from these 2 small islands, which are right here. You can see about 50 miles or so off the coast of Honduras. But luckily it's been shown that the population is not as vulnerable as was once thought. They've been completely protected and are making a comeback. And luckily for us reptile keepers, there's quite a few available in captivity. And I believe this is a must for any locality collection. So the next stop on our tour of locality boa greatness takes us down to the continent of South America, to the country of Venezuela. This is the Paraguanera Peninsula boa, which is found in the Paraguanera Peninsula in northwestern Venezuela. And what makes this boa so interesting is it appears to be a transitional form between the common boa, Boa imperator, to the north, and the true red-tailed boa, Boa constrictor, to the southeast. If we look at the head shape of this boa, it's shorter than a true red-tail. It's kind of more blocky, which you would expect in a Colombian or another type of common boa. But if you look at the pattern and the contrast and coloration, it's reminiscent of the true red-tailed boas, such as the Suriname and Guianan boas. This is a semi-dwarf Locality Boa. This is a male that's approaching adulthood. This guy's about 5 years old. And they have a really cool kind of mellow, laid-back personality. This is a boa I really enjoy taking out and handling. You can see he's pretty calm, and they have a really good interaction with the handler. There's also an anaerythristic form of this boa, which lacks the red pigment, and it has this beautiful silvery coloration. These boas are relatively hard to find. There's not too many of them around. So if you see them available, I would recommend that you pick some up if you're interested in them. Again, highly recommended the Paraguanera Peninsula Boa from Venezuela. So now that we're in South America, I had to pick a true red-tailed boa to add to my list. And this was a really hard choice because it really came down to two top contenders. We have the Suriname red-tailed boa and the Peruvian red-tailed boa. They both were battling out for that top spot. Ultimately, I had to go with the Peruvian red-tailed boa. So this is a 4-year-old female that was born here, and you can see, looking at her, the spectacular golden yellow coloration, as well as this bright red tail. Some of the Surinames do have a brighter and longer red tail, but I believe that the combination of the red tail and the beautiful golden colors of the Peruvian just can't be beat. It's, truly a spectacular looking snake. Also, they have this beautiful red shaped head and these really graceful, delicate markings. The facial markings of these animals are just absolutely beautiful. The Peruvian red-tailed boas are said to be the largest of the boa constrictors, occasionally reaching up to 12 to 13 feet in length, although a typical adult size would more likely be in the 8 to 9 foot range. They're one of the most muscular types of boas. You can see she's really holding on to me. The true red tails tend to be a little more squeezy when you take them out than the common boas. They really demonstrate their strength and that beautiful muscle. So the Peruvian red-tailed boa, arguably one of the most spectacular serpents that's available in herpetoculture. The last animal on my list of the top 5 Locality Boas is the most southern occurring form of boa constrictor. This is the Argentine Boa, Boa constrictor occidentalis. And although the previous 4 boas I did not show in my order of preference, I have to admit, if I was to pick a single Locality Boa that's my absolute favorite, I would have to say it is the Argentine Boa. These guys are just absolutely gorgeous. They have this dark coloration with lots of different shades of mocha and chocolate and caramel mixed in there. They have this beautiful iridescence, and the white flecking can just be absolutely gorgeous. So just a very beautiful animal to look at. Because these guys are from a colder climate, the environmental conditions aren't quite as demanding as the tropical boas like the true red-tail, so they're a little bit easier to keep in captivity. Another thing that I love about them is they're not quite as squeezy as the true red-tailed boas. You can take them out and they won't squeeze the hell out of your hand. They're just mellow and just really enjoyable to handle. They have a reputation for being somewhat aggressive, but I've been working with these guys for over 20 years now, and I've never seen any aggressive one other than when it was ready to eat, food aggression. So just a truly great form of boa constrictor. This is a male who's about 4 years old, so this guy hopefully will be ready to breed in another year or two. They seem to be less common on the market now than they have been in the past, so they're not quite as easy to get. But if you come across one, it's a highly recommended animal to keep in your collection. They're one of the larger boas. They can get up to 8 or 9 feet as adults, but just, truly a gorgeous animal and highly recommended. The Argentine Boa. So there you have it. That's my top 5 favorite localities of boa constrictors. Thanks for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. If you can't believe I didn't include a certain boa that's your all-time favorite, please comment below. If you liked this video, please subscribe to the Brian Boas YouTube channel. I'll be posting regular videos about all aspects of keeping and breeding boas in captivity. Enjoy your boas.